Hey everyone, this is Elias from Rev Media, and today we're going to be taking a look at the 2024 bZ4X Limited all-wheel drive. Okay, so I just nailed this in the first take, and reason why I'm saying this is because all week I've been calling it bZ4 or 4Z, yeah, but I nailed it. And I think Toyota nailed it with this as being a great everyday EV. So let's go ahead and take a look. We get started in the front, and let's just say that looks are subjective, and sometimes I hate it, sometimes I love it, so I don't know how I feel about this. I can tell you this though, I definitely love it a lot more than the Crown. Yes, I know, I'm gonna get a lot of slack for that because I already have in my Crown video that I didn't quite like the styling, but this is definitely a better step than that. But we start with the Supersonic Red, which looks so good. I love this red that Toyota has, and yes, we're gonna have some of these black accents, but they're not just black. So they're actually with like a pearl, so it's a super like dark gunmetal color. It looks really good. It sparkles like crazy, so loving that. Now the headlights, we have the multi-LED system. This thing is incredible. They look really cool. I love the kind of sweep design we have that gets carried over through the grille of the bZ4X. Yes, I keep nailing the name. I'm so happy. But we have that. And then we have the front-facing camera there because this does have a 360-degree camera system. Now, what's weird is I didn't have any issues with the front-facing camera when I was backing out of my driveway and then kind of moving forward. You know how it kind of moves to the front camera for a little bit. The frame rate was fine. But when I was backing up, I had a weird little glitch, a little kind of thing where the frame rate when I was backing up was really bad. You could kind of see it was very 1990s, late 90s kind of, yeah, frame rate. So it was kind of weird. I haven't been able to experience it again, but it did happen. We come a little bit lower and we have kind of the problem we always have with EVs is we get such a flat front area that literally anything you hit will show up there. So I don't know, I kind of wish sometimes we had a grill or a proper grill, because we kind of have one down here. I don't know, I wish we can have a different opening so that not everything that gets hit is gonna kind of stay there, but it's kind of what you get with that. Now on the side though, I do love this. So we do have kind of some side openings to let air pass through for a little bit better aerodynamics. Overall though, I actually like that view that we're seeing because it kind of gives these like a helmet kind of thing, or like you know, sports players that have the thing that they put on their eyes. But overall though, it is really nice. I kind of like this, minus, yeah, having to kind of deal with this. And don't come at me because saying I should have cleaned the car, because this was literally driving to this area here. This just happened. So we have that. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and see what we have under this hood. We get under the hood, and because this is the all-wheel drive model, we are going to get a dual motor setup with 80 kilowatt each. And that will give you a combined 214 horsepower and 248 pound-feet of torque. Now, with this being the all-wheel drive, the total battery capacity is a little bit higher than just the front-wheel drive. Not too much. So we get 72.8 kilowatt in the all-wheel drive compared to the 71.4 in the front-wheel drive only model. And with that being said, as far as the MPG or the range that we would get with the all-wheel drive, it does go to 222, as opposed to the front-wheel drive model that does get a little bit more at 236 mile range. And to charge this, you are looking with my level 2 charger. It did take about what they say 9.5 hours to fully charge from basically battery low to 100%. Couple of things. Power delivery is there, so we don't have the super fast undrivable power that we normally would get with some super fast EVs, which I'm fine with. Yeah, I don't want to have to constantly be dealing with, you know, babying the gas pedal. Yeah, I know I say gas pedal, but you know, it's about drivability. It's one thing having gobs of power. The other thing is being able to drive the vehicle okay, you know, on an everyday situation. And that's what this does. So it does deliver power really well. You can still kind of get this guy moving, but it's not going to be undrivable. So loving that. The battery usage has been fine. The mileage, yes, it's not 300 that I would really kind of like. But again, these vehicles, and I know I'm gonna hear, oh, you know, hybrids are better. Yeah, for me, they definitely are. For other people, they're not. You know, but every vehicle has its place. And I think this has a great place where, again, if you're needing to drive under 200 miles every day, and you have a home charger, because obviously that's the ideal situation, because you could just put it in the garage, plug it in, and overnight, in the morning, you wake up and you have a full charge. So, yes, I'm not going to complain that my Miata can't tow 5,000 pounds, because that's not what I got my Miata for. I'm not going to complain that this doesn't have gobs of power, and I'm not going to complain that it doesn't have a massive amount of 400 or 500 mile range, because that's not what this is. Yeah, I would like about 300 miles. So take note, Toyota. But what I mean is, this has its place, and its place is really good. So again, if you kind of meet those requirements, this is actually really good. And the fact that we have the all-wheel drive, if you're needing it for inclement weather areas. Yes, I know the mileage is going to drop down when you don't have the, you know, the most ideal temperatures. But again, if you're just kind of wanting something and you don't want to spend any more time at the gas pump, this drivetrain was great. No issues with it. Really liked the way that it delivered the power. All-wheel drive system really did its job when it needed to, and it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and see what we have in those wheels and tires. We get down to the wheel and tire package, and we have this big 20-inch wheel, and it is wrapped in the 235/50 Bridgestone Turanza EL450. Now, we take a look at the 20-inch wheel, and it's a very simple design. I love the different kind of depths that we have to it, so I like it. It's pretty good. And then we have the tire. We have a good amount of sidewall, which is nice. We've, you know, been driving this, and no issues with road absorption or anything like that. The suspension works really well with this setup as well, so I'm super surprised. It does feel a little bit on the heavier side, so just kind of be aware. The tires didn't really give me any sense of kind of braking from, you know, traction based on the weight of it. And, you know, we were kind of pushing it a little bit hard here and there. Brakes are spectacular, love them. They definitely gave you the feedback from that on that pedal that you needed. Good amount of bite as well. The regenerative braking does help out as well to get this big guy slowed down, because it's not a light vehicle. The only thing though is this tire. It's a little bit on the noisier side, so just kind of be aware, but pump up those tunes. That's what I'll say. Because other than that though, I'm perfectly fine with it being a little bit loud for the performance they gave me. Yeah, I was actually really surprised. I liked everything else about it, and pretty good setup. So let's go ahead and see what we have on the side. We get to the side, and yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about this side profile, because there's some stuff that I kind of like, and then dislike, and then I really like, and then I really don't like. So first, the shape. It has kind of that Lexus RX style to it, slash RAV4, but a little bit more a sedanish RAV4. Yeah, I mean that by the sense of it looks a little bit longer than a RAV4, in the sense of the wheelbase kind of looks like it's towards the edges a lot more than, say, a RAV4. But I like it. I like the side profile shape of it. There's some cool cues that we'll take a look in the back. Now, the front, we have the fender that is in another color. One thing is having kind of a fender flare or protection. This looks like it's pretty much it kind of looks like it's a fender that you kind of damaged and you couldn't find the matching color. Yes, I'll go ahead and say that because that's what it kind of looks like. But then it kind of looks cool sometimes. So I don't know how I feel about this. What do you guys think? Let me know, because I know you guys will definitely be vocal about that little component there. But we get the 20-inch wheels and they look really good. They have a good size to them, especially with that bigger sidewall of the tire there. We have the charging port right in here where we have the level 1, 2, and 3 charging in there. I've used my level 2 Autel charger, which has been great to charge this guy. No issues with that. We close that off, and yes, don't worry, this week I've been remembering to close that because I always seem to forget it in electric cars but not in gas cars. But we have that, and then we have the two-tone, well, the red, Supersonic Red just looks so incredible with the black roof, black framing. Now this here, we have a plastic. It doesn't, gosh, I kind of almost want this glossy color, but I understand because that's gonna take a beating from rocks and snow that you may want to take this on, the terrain you may want to take this on. So yeah, that's gonna be a little bit of a different textured plastic. And then we have the rear fender there, which that looks better. For some reason, that looks a lot better. And I guess it's because it doesn't look like it's a massive fender part or massive part of the fender. So it does look good there. Now, I have the key fob in my pocket, so I'll go ahead and grab the door and I can go ahead and open and I'm good to go. Lock, and then I can grab the back, and there's no sensor in the back. So you'll need to activate it with the front and then to open it. You can also just put, to make it open up, just the driver's side door, but good big doors. Yeah, no complaints about that, minus that. I don't know how I feel about it. But that's what we have in the side profile. I am excited to show you what we have in that rear. So let's go ahead and check it out. We take a look at the back, and a couple of things with this. First, let's start with the going from the top, and we have these kind of winglets in the rear here. So we have kind of this rear spoiler. I like the way that it looks. So we have some kind of arrow pieces in the middle to split kind of this up. It looks really cool. It's a little bit more than just your straight across situation. And I think that has to do with this rear glass because we don't have a rear windshield wiper. So that might be kind of what's needing to tunnel things. And then we have kind of this little spoiler back here, which looks really cool. This is what I really, really love. These look like Lexus LFA taillights. Yeah, we kind of have that kind of thing that it does here. I love them. And then we have, like at the top, we have that red line just kind of going all the way across in a nice frosted look. So really loving that side of things with design. Then we get the bZ4X badge there, and with this one being the limited and all-wheel drive, you know, we're letting people know this is kind of up there in premium. So we have that. That's kind of okay, and then we kind of get okay with this here. I think this is kind of more of an afterthought. It doesn't look as exciting and cool and different than what we get up there. But yeah, that's kind of what we get in the rear. So let's go ahead and see what we have inside. We open up the back and we actually have a pretty good decent amount of space. So I was surprised at how much space we had. So first, yes, JBL subwoofer, loving this thing. I just can't praise this thing enough. It just, this sound system sounds really, really good. So love the way that sounds. And yeah, I kind of forgot to take out our groceries or part of our groceries here, but we have a good amount of space on here, as you can kind of take that for scale. We do have a decent amount of height, so not too bad, not like super wow, but it's still a good amount. And then we have the yes, sorry. One-handed is kind of tough, but we have this. Let's see if we can do it one-handed. Wow, yeah. So we have the little cover there, which you're definitely going to need because that window will definitely show everyone what your business is. So it's not too tinted. It's kind of transparent. So you're definitely going to want to get that cover there to keep eyes out of all your stuff. We take a look at the door, and this is really nice. So we do have some really good materials. It is a plastic, a hard plastic, but it does have a soft touch finish to it. I do like the armrest. It was good to kind of let me rest my arm there, good position. So really liking that. Again, we have a softer material here for your armrest as well. We have piano black. I know normally I don't like a lot of piano black finishes, but this actually looks really good. It's the shape that it needs to. It needs to frame what it needs to. So liking that. We have the controls for the windows there. No issues. Very simple, very straightforward design there. Then we come to the seats, and these things are shaped nicely. We have cooled option. We have a heated option. So loving that when this week's weather was really, really crazy. And we have some good adjustability there. Except that because of this, yeah, you guys see that? That is what makes this seat feel like you're 5 feet up in the air. So I'm not liking that because that's really as low as you can get it. And it is really, really tall. So yeah, I wish we could kind of get a little bit lower. It's probably due to the battery system. But yeah, the ergonomics of the seat itself were great. Just, I wish we sat a little bit lower than this lets you. We get over to the steering wheel, and this is the same steering wheel we had with the Prius, which I liked, the actual steering wheel. And I didn't like something else, which we'll get to. But the shape of it is really good. You know, as far as the materials, it's super soft feeling. So I like that. Yeah, my hand fits really nicely in there. This does look a little bit on the weird bulky side, but you kind of get used to it, and it's not too bad. We can fairly get access to these buttons here. You know, for the gauge cluster, we have the volume here, which is really nice, which I'm going to show you why I like this more than the one on the radio itself or the infotainment. And then on the right hand side, we have all your cruise control kind of settings and your next track there. So liking that. I love the way that we have that, but this thing is super low. So this is my, let's see if I can replicate. So just like I had with the Prius, I had the issue that the gauge cluster, which is the next thing I want to talk about, we have it there, and it's a great line of sight. You know, it's just right above, and I'll make this a little bit darker out there, but it's just at the perfect sight where, you know, you don't have to look too low to see your speed kind of thing. And, you know, you don't lose too much of your focus from depth kind of situation. But yeah, what I don't like about it is the fact that in order to be able to see it, I have to bring down the steering wheel, because if I put it up to where it's, yeah, you can see that. That's kind of what I am seeing right now. So you do miss pretty much half of the gauge cluster there. So it's a shame, because this setup is pretty nice on the gauge cluster. I just wish this wheel, I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I just know I don't like this. But I kind of do like it in the sense of this positioning. So let's talk about this. And it's pretty kind of simple and straightforward. Nothing too wow, but it just does the job. I like the positioning more than anything. And it's really a matter of, you know, if you want to keep it simple, you have that option there for the actual just kind of speedometer. And we can move it over. We can do the trip info. We can have your safety settings, any error messages, your power consumption there, adaptive cruise control stuff, music, and yeah, with this you can have either the trip, the PSI for your tires, the all-wheel drive distribution, that kind of stuff. So very simple, but straight to the point. And I do like the, again, positioning, but I hate the fact that we have to deal with it with the steering wheel itself. Then we get over to the infotainment screen, and I am really loving this. Yeah, there's something about this that it's just really good. It's out of the way, so I like that it's kind of out of your line of sight for the outside. It's nice and wide. It's big and wide, so I love that. And we do have the Apple CarPlay. We have the wireless Apple CarPlay, which is exactly what I really, really want in a vehicle like this. Because again, storage is at a premium, and I'll let you know why I'm keep saying that. So we have that. Now, one thing I don't like is the volume. The volume is here, and it's having to press buttons. I was hoping for, let's not get YouTube to scream at us, but I would have liked a knob. I would have liked the knob right in here, which doubles as a button to turn it off and volume up and down. So not sure why we have that as an option. Instead, we have this here. Yeah, not sure. The other thing I really, really like is, thankfully, we don't have the other buttons that we did with the Lexus, that you kind of have to go through the climate, through the infotainment screen for the climate. We have this, and I'm really loving this because it's very simple and very straight to the point, but it still looks great. It still looks futuristic, and it's very simple to use. So yeah, Toyota, you may want to start implementing this instead, because I like this system more than you guys have done in the Lexus vehicles or other Toyotas where you're needing to kind of jump up for the climate in the infotainment screen. So loving this. We have our heated seats. We have our cooled seats. We're definitely cooling my butt down literally because it is hot. We have our temperature, just everything very simple in there. So really loving this. Now, something that I did find that was kind of cool was the fact that on the dashboard, you can see we kind of have a cloth material on here. So I love the way that this looks and feels. So really cool touch to it. We basically get it right there for the passenger. It kind of goes all around there. And then we have some here on the driver's side. What I don't like that we don't have in the passenger side is we have no glove box. Yeah, unless I am mistaken, let me know, YouTube, because I can't figure out how to open this, because I was trying to see if we had the window sticker for this to see all the things, but I don't see anything. So let me know if I'm missing a button and comment, because I would have definitely liked to have a glove box for this. And that's why I say storage is kind of at a premium for this, because we don't have many. We come down a little bit lower, and yes, we have a lot of piano black, and yes, it's reflecting, but don't worry, it really doesn't matter when you're kind of driving. It doesn't get in the way really of the buttons that you're needing to press. I don't mind it. I know my wife is probably not gonna like it if the sun reflects right off of it, but I like it. So we have in the middle, we have the shifter, which is kind of unique. It's kind of like a knob, so you do have to push down and turn it to go in reverse, push down for neutral, and then push down and to the right for drive, and then press the P for park. So yeah, kind of a different shifter there. I think at this point we're just kind of inventing the wheel. We're trying to reinvent the wheel, and we just have to keep it simple, guys. Buttons would have been great. The tiny shifter would have been great. This is kind of, I guess it's because it's an EV, full EV, we have to make things different, but we really don't. But on the left-hand side here, we have the electronic parking brake, which is nice. Then we have the park hold, and then we have the one pedal driving there, which has been really great. I love the way that feels. On the right hand side, we have the eco mode. We have the view for the cameras, which has been really good. Let me just put it in drive so we can activate the actual camera. But like I said, when I had it in reverse, I had a weird frame rate kind of situation going on. So we'll go ahead and put it in reverse. We're not moving, so we won't be able to see it. But yeah, I don't know. I was just kind of confused why that was behaving the way that it did. And then we have on the right hand side, we have the parking assist buttons there, traction control. Then we have the X mode, which is for like inclement weather. So we have the option for snow, dirt, and then we have the option for deep snow / mud. And then we have here, this knob is going to be for the grip mode, what they call the grip mode, which is basically how much traction, you know, how aggressive do you want the traction to be for that. But yeah, we've had great weather, so we haven't been able to use that, so I can't say for sure how good it can be, but that's kind of what you get there. We come back and we have this big glossy area here, but this is probably one of my favorite things, because I can go ahead and open that up, and yes, we have a wireless charger, which is perfect for the wireless Apple CarPlay combination that we have in here. Only thing I would say is, come on, journalist, you may want to not put stuff in here, because that's not what it's for. So it's for a wireless charger. So we're going to go ahead and try the chuck test. Okay, that was on me. I didn't quite throw it well. So we're going to go ahead and try it again. And it laid flat, and it is charging. And it is really cool. Love it. I can go ahead and close this off. And what I really love, yes, I'm so glad I can capture it, is there's a grid here. So you will actually see, especially at night, it's going to look really cool when you can have it just kind of illuminate whenever someone messages you or something. But I really love that design cue. It's such a stupid thing, but it's really cool to kind of have that going on there to the point where I just want to do that. And yeah, I can't imagine. I'll probably film this at night just because I think it looks really cool. So I'll probably add it just right in here, and it just really awesome. I love it. It's a small detail. It gets the charger out of the way. You're able to just have that in there with no issues. We come back a little bit more and we have the cup holder. So I do have my water bottle in here, and we have a little cubby area right back there. Now, if I didn't have my water bottle in there, you can pull this so that it moves forward, and you kind of have that there. So you really can move your arm a little bit more to rest it on the armrest. If not though, if you're needing to use the cup holders, then obviously you can just kind of put those there. No complaints, very simple, very straightforward with that. They are a little bit, so just be aware, you know, you're gonna be limited with the kind of this. so big cups may be a little bit difficult to kind of keep in here or get in there because of this surrounding area there. But we get to the armrest and area, and the storage is pretty much non-existent, so I'm a little disappointed. I wish we had more space in here for that, but that's kind of what you get. Real nice armrest we have there. Now, with this having the electronic shifter, we do have some storage space down here, which is okay. It's not too bad. It's nice that we have it, but it's a little uncomfortable to kind of get to. The other thing that I'm a little kind of confused about, so we do have the 12-volt adapter there. We also have the USB connections there, which you only need obviously for someone else. But what I don't understand is we have this storage area here, which is kind of difficult. My phone doesn't fit, let's just say that. So my phone doesn't fit, and it does kind of give you a good angle there if you're needing to plug it in with the cable, but then it's kind of difficult to get out of there. So you'll probably be charging and just have it down here if you need an additional device, but it is, like I said, a little tough to kind of get into that little area. We get to the rear door, and very simple, very straight to the point, nothing super wow, very similar to what we kind of get in the front. We do have the piano black area here, so that super gloss black trim, which looks really good. I kind of like the shape to it. Kind of reminds me of the exterior, just kind of very sharp, very defined kind of lines in black. So, and then we also have the cup holders area here, water bottle holders there. We have the speaker, JBL speaker, which I hope it wanted more from it, but it kind of does the job. It's very simple, very straight to the point. Then we get to the back seats, and we have a good feeling material back here in the seats. Tons of space, tons of leg room. So that's kind of my seating position. and anyone sitting behind me is gonna have a good amount of leg room. And yeah, my kid's seat is set up there, no issues. We have the safety latches right down there, so not a problem. And then we have what he likes to call his secret cup holders, which is really nice here. They do look a little bit on the smaller side, so just be aware. We do get a kind of an iPad holder there, so it's a little bit bigger, or you can just throw your iPhone in there as well. And then we have the charging. If we need to charge, they do get a vent back here, so that's really nice. And we also have the heated option, so once it starts getting cold, they can go ahead and keep their butts warm, literally. So we have that. Now, another thing I kind of want to show you is kind of the ease to get to this back area. And usually, because you have so much leg room, you're not fighting this. You're not fighting the headrest, which is always a problem when you're folding rear seats down. But we fold it, and it's fairly straight through. So you can see from what I had shown in the rear. Yeah, so really like the fact that because we have that front legroom area, this seat is really easy to just kind of put back. But that's kind of what you get in the rear. We get inside of the bZ4X, and I'm kind of sitting a little on the tall side. So yeah, I feel like I'm a little on the top heavy side, but let's go. So we have the brake hold on, which is nice. Love the brake hold on vehicles like this especially. And I've turned on the one pedal driving on this. My gauge cluster, I have it to show me my all-wheel drive distribution. I'm playing my CarPlay stuff wirelessly, which, yes, thank you. It is awesome. I am loving the fact that I can have wireless system in this kind of layout, because I think it really warrants this layout. The ride is smooth. This is really nice. It does feel, you know, it feels solid. It's got that, you know, super heavyweight, 4,400 pounds, but it feels solid with, you know, the ride quality. And even though we have those big wheels, yeah, it's not translating the bad stuff into the cabin, so I'm loving that. It is a little bit on the noisier side, so I did notice that, you know, we're getting a lot of road noise from those tires, so just kind of be aware of that. But as long as you blast that JBL system, which sounds really good, I think you're gonna be fine. So that'll cover that. But yeah, we're hitting some pretty big bumps, and yeah, I'm super comfortable. Yeah, the only thing is, yeah, well, like I mentioned, the steering wheel is a little bit on the low, having to be on the lower side so I can see all my stuff, even though I am actually feel like I'm sitting super high up. And it does feel a little bit on the top heavy side of things when you really get to push it. But other than that, though, I'm actually pretty impressed with this because the finishes are really nice. Granted, this is the Limited, so we're a little bit on the higher end stuff. But some of the stuff that, you know, you're not going to change, like the materials on the door, wouldn't really change from trim to trim. This feels good. It feels good. It feels comfortable. Yeah, the only thing is, yeah, I feel like I am 5 feet higher. I feel like, yeah, just like super high up, because my sight line is a little bit of this area up here with the roof. But yeah, this is pretty good. Let's go ahead and put this to its paces. So I'll go ahead and take it out of eco mode, so it is a little bit more responsive with the throttle. And when we go ahead and hit that first turn, we are gonna go ahead and be kind of aggressive on the brakes, because I don't know how this big vehicle, because 4,400 pounds is not, you know, for a vehicle like this, it's solid. We'll just say that. But yeah, I mean, it feels good. The power delivery is pretty plentiful for what it is. The brakes are actually really good. You know, you give it a good amount of pressure and it rewards you with a good feeling. Now, that turn made it feel heavy, because yeah, this is a pretty heavy vehicle and it felt big. So yes, there are heavier vehicles, but it felt top heavy, which is the big thing with this. It does feel a little bit on the top side of things with the weight, so just kind of be aware of that. And I guess it's because I'm also feel like I'm sitting super high, but yeah, I mean, we get the power down, and it will activate the traction control and get you turned. So yeah, granted, this isn't something you're going to really be doing with a vehicle like this, but I know if I didn't, you guys would complain and say, why aren't you pushing it to its limits? I am a little bit more of my limits that I'd like than maybe the vehicle's limits, because yeah, again, it doesn't feel like I should be kind of doing this in the sense of you know, pushing it to that much, because you're not really going to be driving it like that. But it feels good. It's really predictable. I think that was the big thing. It felt predictable right now. So it wasn't anything of like, whoa, what was that? Kind of weird power distribution, weird weight distribution. So everything was super predictable. Now let's go ahead and we'll do the 3-point stop. So I'll drop the wheel a little bit here, and we'll go ahead and cut the wheel. Yes, it's panicking. And we'll go ahead and reverse. It's probably gonna panic and brake for me. Yeah, it's braking for me because of the tall grass. So yeah, the grass has been growing, but what hasn't been, oh gosh, yeah, this actually feels pretty it's kind of hard to turn the wheel. I'm surprised, because I would think it'd be a little bit easier to kind of deal with, but yeah, so that was a little bit tough to get the wheel kind of turned. And we needed a lot of turns to get the bZ4X kind of straightened in a 3-point stop that ended up being more like a 4 or 5-point stop. But yeah. So we've gone ahead and set up our race box. So this is our telemetry to see how fast you can go in a distance, straight line, or even on a track. Love this thing. If you're interested in getting one of these, I'll put my link and my little discount code in the description. So check it out. So we'll go ahead and we'll load up so we took it out of eco mode. We will actually take off the traction control to see if this is going to yield us better results, and give it a little bit of a load there and go. Okay. Yeah, so don't expect super fast numbers. So 0 to 30 we did in 2.28 seconds, and 0 to 60 in 6.37 seconds. So yeah, it's not gonna be the most, you know, the fastest, you know, EV ever, which is fine. That's not what the audience for this is. If you're just wanting to kind of dive into the world of EV and you are wanting to have something, you know, like Toyota reliability, then this is the kind of the route you go. It's fairly comfortable. It's super easy to drive. I think that is the biggest thing that people have problems with EVs, is that it's difficult to drive, especially with the one pedal driving. That stuff can be a little tricky with different settings and things like that, but no, not with this. This just does the job, and it does the job really well. So there's really no complaints about just everyday drivability. I love this. Maybe the distance, but you know, that's always the case with EVs. But if it's something where you need it as a grocery getter, an errand here and there, you have a house, you have a charger that you can always plug into, that's what this is for. That's what this, you know, this kind of vehicle is for, or who it's for, really. So yeah, if you kind of check those boxes, look into one of these. They're pretty cool. And yeah, the styling is subjective. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't, but that's kind of what you get with this. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed my review of the 2024 Toyota bZ4X. And remember, yeah, we have no gears because it's just a single motor. Yeah, or dual motor in this case. See ya.